going on?
Howdy.
It's another glorious day, and welcome to the Crazy Train,
Right.
where all stops lead to the nearest banana republic.
You mean like the one we're living in?
Pretty much. I mean, I keep waiting to see if we got like a Venezuelan flag flying under the stars and stripes. You know what I'm saying? I'm still trying to wrap my head around this ludicrous conviction of our former president. For fuck's sake. I mean, we'll get into that. We'll give a couple minutes, see if we get people to jump in here. A couple boilerplate things as usual. First off, anything we say here is expressly for entertainment purposes only. We are not trying to incite violence or any illegal behavior. We are simply here voicing opinion, having a chat amongst like-minded individuals, and it is what it is.
Right.
So if you don't want your feelings hurt, find an exit and GTFO. Otherwise, we might drop some truth on you and entertain you for a while. So stick around. That being said, what's happening, my brother?
Oh, just hanging out. Enjoying the evening.
Okay. All right. So what'd you have for dinner?
I had chicken. I had some potatoes and some corn.
Okay. Sounds good. Mine was a frozen pizza.
I love frozen pizza.
Well, it wasn't my first choice, but time was getting away from everybody, and I said, you know what? I'll just throw something in the oven, scarf it down, and get to where I need to be for a change. I mean, I'm not even here. But that being said, I've been listening to some different things. I was actually listening to a foreign commentator today, or no, actually yesterday. I want to say he was British, and he was talking about referring to the United States having a second civil war from their perspective. And it was really interesting hearing an outsider kind of going through the steps and what they thought could and would happen.
Mm-hmm.
If I can remember who the guy was, I'll try and forward you a link to that. But there's just one random things that came up. This guy's making some actually valid points. And of course, it was nothing like the movie.
Right.
But yeah, he made some really valid points and observations of what could eventually happen here. I pray every night that isn't the case, but you just never know. So, well, that being said, let's go ahead and jump into some shit and see if we can aggravate some folks and drop some truth. Who do we want to start with? Do we want to start with our beloved former president, or do we want to start with Crack Snorter the Great?
Let's go with the president.
Sounds good. As you know, of course, he was found guilty. Not a big shocker there, because this was all political assassination, in my opinion. He was tried in a shithole by a bunch of people live in a shithole. You can be offended at that if you want, but I mean, look where he was tried and how he was prosecuted and how the entire thing was handled.
Right.
Something had an itch. That being said,
oh shit.
The whole thing, the way they made it sound when I first heard it, convicted on 34 counts, all this other bullshit, right? And when you go and you look at what he's being convicted for, it's like, are you fucking kidding me? This is what you guys are making a big deal about.
Right.
I had a former coworker who was a good friend of mine call me or text me last week fuming about this shit, and he was a staunch Republican. And he said, what do you think about it? I told him, I think it's bullshit. And he said, well, it's one thing if he got convicted on a couple counts, but 34, he didn't fit for office. I'm not voting for either one of them. I said, that's your prerogative. I didn't want to get in a long, drawn out exchange with him because I was at work. But I told him, I said, that's your prerogative, and I can appreciate that. But I said, I personally will vote for him regardless because my family and myself were better off when he was in office. We could afford fuel, we could afford groceries, and we could afford a vacation.
Yeah, you could afford to live.
There you go. There you go. You could thrive under his administration. This bunch of fucktards build back poorer or broker or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Nah. You can't do shit. You're being strangled. Every time you pull your fucking wallet out, you're being strangled.
Oh yeah. Well, okay. So that dinner that I just told you about?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's 3 pounds of chicken, 2 cans of corn. Let's see. Potatoes. Now, all of that, you're looking at 16, 17, 19, 20. Almost $30 right there.
Right.
It was like $27 for chicken, potatoes, and corn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Got 1, 2, 3 more things for frozen food. So total came out to $64.
Wow. That's insane.
And yeah, it's fucking insane, dude. Yeah, I would imagine that, or I'm hoping. See, unfortunately, we have all these Hamas / Palestinian lovers that are doing all the protests right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, these freaks are old enough to vote, and probably will, unless they're stoned, will will vote, probably absentee. But I'm hoping it's that whole same, during the Bush time, it's the economy, stupid. Whether you love him or hate him, you have to understand that when a man comes out of the box and basically strips away everything that happened, good thing that happened in the last 4 years economically, then he has no love for you.
Nope.
His whole regime has no love for you. Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, let's fund a proxy war and make millions for ourselves. Write books and insider trade. But when it comes to the American public, screw you.
Yep, exactly. I totally agree. I mean, and here's the thing. If this was any other person, this wouldn't even be on the news. By the 24-hour cycle, it'd be out the window. If this was one of bedshitter's relatives or friends, or Obama bin Laden, they would have been a hue and a cry and people in the streets raising hell. How unjust it was, right?
Right.
In all of this, whether you like Trump or not, okay, they've done everything from the very beginning to try and cut this dude off the knees. They tried to wipe out his social media accounts. They tried to silence him each and every way they possibly can. And yes, while it's been semi-effective, each and every time it's blown up in their face. And what's happening now after this kangaroo court bullshit, which we'll get into in a minute, happened, even people from their own camp are saying, you can't let this stand because people are seeing this and all you're doing is fueling a fire that's going to blow up on us.
Right.
But see, this regime is so hell-bent. I truly don't believe that bedshitter's in charge. research. I don't think they keep them coherent and not drooling long enough to make a decision. All of you can read into that whatever the hell you want. Do your own research. We know what we've seen.
Right.
Okay. There's inconsistencies and things we have observed that pretty much tell us there's something else going on. And I wouldn't be surprised if whatever's pulling the strings is using him as basically the scapegoat to throw under the bus. He's collateral damage to him.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's too fucking ignorant and self-centered and just a piece of shit to really. This is the same guy that can't climb downstairs or up, much less walk across the stage.
This is the second. Oh yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. No.
It's unfortunately he's probably got dementia, but it couldn't happen to a better fucking piece of shit that's done nothing but rape this country for 40 plus fucking years.
Oh yeah, this is the same guy who had to drop out of the race. You remember when he said he graduated first in his class, and this was back in the 70s or 80s. Graduated first in my class of wherever he went to college and blah blah blah. I mean, he got caught in so many lies that he had to drop out of the presidential race.
Was that when he was running against Hitler?
No. This was like, I'm thinking 70s or 80s. But I mean, the dude has a 40-year, like you're saying, he's got a 40-year track record of just lying. That's
I mean,
what he does.
He jumps tracks faster than a car off Fast and the Furious.
Right. I mean, the Kennedys don't have anything on this guy.
This guy's just he's a criminal. But going back to what Trump was convicted of, I'm reading this from the Heritage Foundation. So you can do your own research. Brown shirts, kiss my ass. I'm citing my source. If you got a problem with it, take it up with them. Now, just to give some quick clip notes here, he was convicted of 34 misdemeanors for paperwork errors that the statute of limitations have run out, that were changed to felonies because he had supposedly violated another state law. Nowhere mentioned in said indictment. Okay. Mm-hmm. Let's just leave that right there for a fucking minute. Let that sink in. Go ahead and spit your beer out, because if your synapses in your brain are popping, you just immediately identified what's wrong. Okay. They're misdemeanors, number one, that will run out of the fucking statute of limitations. That on its face is fucking wrong.
Right.
Then you looked for a way to change them to felonies on some crazy bullshit by using another state law that's not even mentioned in the fucking indictment. Okay, maybe I'm not a brilliant attorney or whatever, but let's go ahead and just think this through for a minute. The last time I checked, in order for you to be indicted, the charges and everything and whatever you did have to be read.
Right.
So how in the fuck can they indict him on something that wasn't even in the indictment? And
because
okay, but even in the kangaroo court, I mean, how does that hold fucking water?
It doesn't. And hopefully it won't once he starts his appeals.
Right. But you see my point. I don't get it. I do not understand.
Oh yeah, no. It's called election interference.
Absolutely.
And in fact, from what I understand, his appeals are expected to run through election time. But that's all right. Again, other than I think that was a stupid political move, because you have, this, even if you're not a staunch Republican or conservative and you see this happening, I've seen a lot of well, at least 2 or 3 people that were not, Trump supporters, and probably aren't now anyway. But they can see that this is what happens in Honduras and Nicaragua and Guatemala and stuff like
Cuba.
that. Yeah, is basically, or South Africa. Let's persecute. Let's let's go after our political enemies. Because we can't use bullets, so let's use ballots, and let's use the rigged judicial system. I should say weaponized judicial system. Against our political opponents. But that being said, all of these things were, not the fact that he had sex with whatever. It was hush money / clerical errors, or he approved these clerical errors. Okay, that's cool. So, according to Politico, CNN, Nate, and the one that I got here is from Politico. But do you know, since 1997, how much money that Congress has used to cover up? Basically, it's hush money. It's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Public money that whenever one of them gets caught in a sex scandal and they want it to go away, they just pull from the public fund. So guess the number. Guess how much money?
Probably close to $1 trillion doing that much.
You'd think so. But about $17 million.
Oh, I get that.
That's on a low end. Okay? That's
Sure.
a low end estimate. So the hypocrisy of this is astounding. Not unexpected, though, is the fact that, you have all these people. These are the same people that vote themselves raises, by the way. We basically vote these people in to tell us to go fuck yourself. But these $17 million to make stuff go away.
That sounds about right.
And they don't put it out there for public consumption. This is not like, hey, we're going to go ahead and report this. It's buried under, tons and tons of, bureaucracy and stuff like that. So they, in essence, have done the exact same thing that they're trying a man whom the statute of limitations is run out for.
Mm-hmm.
So, GTOF, man.
Well, I mean, if you sit here and you go further into the statement, I just want to, again, cliff note as best I can. It makes it a crime to use unlawful means to promote or oppose the election of a candidate. That's what they're hitting with.
Yeah.
And what was that unlawful means? Well, the defendant didn't know, because those other unlawful means, i.e. other crimes, weren't mentioned in the indictment either.
Right.
The judge told the jurors they didn't need to even agree on what other crimes the defendant had committed, seemingly in conflict with hundreds of years of English and American jurisprudence, including the Constitution's guarantee for due process. Yet you convicted this dude on 34 fucking counts.
Yeah. You know what you may as well have done? You may as well have stripped him, tied him up, put him on a pole with a rope, dunked him in the river to see if he floats or not. Because it was a fucking witch trial. That's exactly
absolutely
what it was. If he dies, he's okay. He's great. If he lives, he's guilty.
Well, I mean, I can go further into this, but that right there tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
This is election interference. The fucking Democratic Party and Bedshitter Incorporated don't have anything to run on. They have fucked this country up so bad in 3 years that what are they going to run it on? Turning June into Deviant-teenth?
Oh, yeah. Groomer.
That's the only fucking thing they got to show. They fucked up an entire month for a bunch of fucking deviants and a bunch of fucking race pimps. That's all they've done for June. Period. And you're going to sit here. What do you have to run on?
Sure as hell not the
Give me
economy.
one fucking thing other than promoting Depends that this dumb motherfucker can run. Maybe Ben and Jerry's.
Right?
What can he run?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
It wouldn't surprise me if the Fed shitter regime hasn't gone to like the dumb bitch in Atlanta and this bunch in New York and gone to them and offered them positions in the cabinet in the next administration or the next cycle
Right.
is over with if they do certain things. Because the whole prosecution, all these cases are precariously on like a point. And a regular prosecutor, if they had more than 30 IQ points, wouldn't hang their ass out there like that. Most prosecutors are looking for a sure thing. This whole thing in fucking New York was a long shot by a mile. They literally are pulling shit out of their ass, found a crooked ass judge. And yes, I'm going to call him a crook because here's the thing that why he should have recused his fucking ass. All right. Again, blue shithole with a blue shithole judge. Okay. The whole thing is that if I remember correctly, he donated a bunch of money to his daughter. And she was in some organization, something against Republicans or no Republicans or something. Stop Republicans. That's what it was. He should have never presided over the case. And again, I'm reading this from the Heritage Foundation. In the first place, just because the prosecution should never have been brought in the first place, Merchant, the crooked-ass judge, should have recused himself from handling it from the very beginning, in the addition to the fact that he donated money to the Biden campaign, as well as a group called Stop Republicans. His daughter is a Democratic political consultant who worked for the Biden-Harris campaign.
Yeah.
And his clients have been raising money off of this kangaroo court trial. That's verbatim from the fucking website. Okay? There you have it. That's all you need for a fucking mistrial or to have this shit. There's no way in hell this should be sticking. None.
Nope, not at all.
And just there's no, I mean, let them try him in somewhere like fucking Florida, Oklahoma, Wyoming. Try some of this bullshit in one of those courts. Texas. It ain't gonna fly. It's not gonna fly. They had to try him somewhere where they had a bunch of like-minded fucktards to push the narrative.
Right.
And then you got people like my friend who buy the shit hook, line, and sinker instead of doing their fucking homework. So now you've got disenfranchised voters that were Trump supporters that don't do their fucking due diligence to see that they're doing exactly what they want to do. They either A, want to make it where he can't fucking run, or B, disenfranchise everybody to support him so they can win that one.
Oh, yeah.
But you saw what happened right after they read the verdict, right?
No.
Trump's approval jumped 6 points.
Oh, yeah.
And they crashed the donation server for him.
Right. I mean, like I said, it was a stupid, politically stupid move.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They shot themselves in both feet with a 12 gauge.
It would be, and I haven't watched Sky News in probably 2 or 3 weeks, but it would be interesting to see what their take on is it. Just to see it from an outside looking in, because a lot of other leaders from other countries were coming to Trump's defense after this, saying the same thing. It was, this is what happens in third world countries, guys. What are y'all doing?
Well, I mean, you got people coming across. I mean, people that are from these shitty countries that live here, and they're saying, "This is America. Wow,
yeah,
this is what we fled. What the fuck are y'all doing?"
Right.
And I mean, I've read post after post after post of people who, A, don't like Trump or didn't vote for Trump or like, we're all about, the bed shitter regime. You even got asshats in Hollywood saying they're not going to support him this time. I mean, he's turned so many people off, or his regime or handlers or whoever the fuck you want to blame, that, if some weird way they keep Trump from winning, and you can read into that however you want. If Trump doesn't get elected,
yeah,
it's going to get dicey.
It's going to get ugly.
Yeah, because we got fucked once. Okay?
Yeah.
I just don't know if they're going to be able to force that pill down the second time. Just saying. So that's my whole take on that. I think he's being done wrong. I think they're making a martyr. They've done every single fucking thing wrong. And I don't see how they can convict him. And see, here's the thing. They've got the sentencing right before the RNC convention.
Right.
Right? If I remember correctly. So how's that going to work? I mean, if you sentence him to jail, and I don't have his answer, and somebody please school me if I'm incorrect. If they sentence him, make him whatever, he still can appeal that, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Now, I guess my question is, since he's been found guilty and he's not been sentenced yet, he can appeal the guilty verdict.
Oh, yeah. He can have multiple appeals on this one. Yeah.
Right. So, and if I'm not mistaken, the appeals will take place in Florida. Now, let's see if De Niro's blue ass shows up down there to rant and rave across the street from the courthouse. And let's see how much of a spectacle they try to make in Florida like they did in New York.
Right. And if DeSantis ever wants a political career after this,
right,
he will press and influence, whomever he needs to make it right.
Oh yeah, I think so. I think what's going to happen is DeSantis, this will be his defining moment. Whether you like him or not, because you notice everything between him and Trump kind of leveled out. They've kissed and made up. They're buddies to an extent.
Right.
Sometimes I wonder if them going tit for tat wasn't just for like a giant psyop.
Could be, but I mean it could very well be. Some of the conservative commentators that I do listen to,
right?
We're talking about how destructive that was. But if you think about it, it's exactly like what happened between the guy in Texas. Trying to think of his name now. Dang it.
The one that just ran?
No. He's been in there for a while now. Crap. I think his dad was Canadian, but
you talking about Cruz?
Yeah, Cruz. So you remember in the 2016 election, Cruz, he was one of the last ones to actually, when Trump was going to be the presumptive candidate, he was the last one. He was like a holdout. He's like, this guy is a joke. I'm never going to get behind this guy. And now, whenever you hear Cruz talking, I mean, the dude is straight up defending everything that Trump did during his presidency. You know, it's like, you know, I was wrong. This guy, you know, he was able to turn, you know, this around, whatever. So maybe that's what it's going to be.
Right. Well, you know, we'll see. We'll see. I truly hope that Trump gets reelected. I'm really curious to see who his VP is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
It needs to be somebody who can go right in as a president when he's gone.
Right.
If not, he's kind of shooting the whole thing in the foot, because that means he's going to be a lame duck, because after 4 years, I mean, they'll fight him the whole 4 years and then just retake the office and destroy the country.
Right.
So it needs to be somebody who's viable, and who, I personally don't think it needs to be an unknown.
No, they don't need to do another Pence or somebody that's going to be the kinder and gentler.
No,
they need somebody who's going to be, you know, somebody that's going to go in there and kick ass.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of on the fence as to whether it should be somebody who's a minority or it should be a female.
I don't care as long as they.
No, I don't either, but I'm trying to think optic-wise.
Yeah.
Which one would be the best option? As far as a female comes, I like Boebert. That's her name.
Yeah.
Lauren Boebert. I like her. There is a guy, South Carolina, maybe. Come on, help me.
Hold on.
It's a black guy.
Tim Scott?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Tim Scott.
I like Tim Scott. And both of them, you know, out of the two, to be honest, I would go with Tim Scott.
Yeah, I mean, he says it like it is.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't mince words.
Nope.
You know,
that's what we need. We need somebody in there that says, "No, we're not doing this."
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, over the next few weeks, we start seeing some of this stuff come to a head and get either resolved or something.
Yeah.
Because I really foresee a lot of fuckery coming down the pike between now and November.
Oh, absolutely.
There's going to be a lot of it. And if this gets thrown out, if he appeals this and wins, look for shit to go crazy. Look for all the fucking unhinged, basement dwelling, hot pocket eaters to be out in force, screaming and crying and burning shit down.
Oh, yeah.
It's coming. Look for there to be this hue and a cry for all these fucking dried up, crooked ass Democrat politicians and all the fucking rhinos up there crying and gnashing teeth and carrying on.
They're destroying democracy.
They're going to get desperate, because if this doesn't stick, if they can't get this to stick and he appeals and wins, it's going to get spicy.
Oh, yeah.
If he wins the election, January 6th wasn't shit.
Yeah.
I'm serious. You're going to have unrest when he goes into office. I'm talking about nationwide. I predict it.
Oh, yeah. There's already people that are like, you know, he wants to come in and be a dictator. And
they're ramping this shit up. They're going to. Soros will finance the fuck out of it, and they will ramp all this shit up, build it up, and try to. And that's not even talking about the foreign players that like to fuck with our election. You know, putting bots and everything else, stirring shit up. Mark my words.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all better buckle up.
What's funny is, you know, you have a large contingent of countries out there that would love to have him back in office. and you would have, you've got, Russia, China, North Korea, stuff like that, that would love. I mean, what's better than a soft America? Nothing.
But that being said, I think if you look at the Ukrainian thing, if Trump went into office, that conflict, we would be out of that shit in a matter of weeks at the latest.
Yeah.
Because I think whether you like Putin or not, and I'm not, a communist or anything else, but I think at least the two of them respected each other. And Trump looked to build something between Russia, not tear it all down. He recognizes the whole BRICS or Brexit or where the hell it's called.
Yeah.
He realizes the situation with our economy, what's about to happen with the money, etc. And he would be in a better place to go over there, shake hands, and have a real discussion about mending some fences, getting the world back on track. This regime we got has no fucking. They don't give one iota about what happens. They're all about cashing in right now, their legacy and their family being well off. Fuck the American people.
Oh yeah, I mean, good Lord, if you haven't noticed the clown show of people that he's, put in, spots up there, unelected, Buttigieg, the cross-dressing, bald-headed weirdo that was in charge of,
the
nuclear,
klepto,
whatever.
like to steal all the fucking luggage.
Yeah, like to, wear women's clothes. Yeah. And you got Buttigieg and his husband that like to breastfeed their kid. And I mean, this is the guy that in 4 years was put in charge of EV stations, and they've built, and I can't remember, it was like $13 or $20 million, and they've built 10 of them.
Yeah.
Literally, these are the things that you see at Target that you back your Tesla into and plug it in. They built 10 of these things. And that's their big accomplishment.
Well, when you're trying to push Pride Month, you got to divert funds where they need to go.
This is true.
I mean,
yeah,
it's all about the tuckables and the male breastfeeding pumps.
Right, because Bob has to breastfeed the kid that he bought. So,
just saying.
Right.
I mean, that's the fucking dumpster fire we all live in. Well, enough of bitching about our fucked up regime that's in charge and Trump basically being railroaded. Let's jump over to our favorite first fucked up drug addict son, Hunter. The man who never passed up an opportunity to snort something.
Snort something or sleep with his brother's wife or something.
Oh, this dude, this is like a bad Mexican soap opera met Beavis and Butthead and made a baby.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? This dumb son of a bitch has got to be the sickest piece of shit I've ever seen. I mean, I'm just reading through here. Okay, here's what he did. And do I think he's going to get convicted? We'll get to that in a minute. Basically what he did is he went and bought a gun and a box of ammo. Let's see if I can find the exact. Let's see. Here we go. He walked into a place called StarQuest Shooters and Survival Supply in Wilmington, Delaware. Now, what's amazing is I'm surprised in Delaware you can own a fucking gun.
Right.
Maybe I'm thinking of Maryland because it's all kinds of fucking PRI. He sold Biden a gun, which was a Colt Cobra 38 Special revolver, an HKS speed loader for a 38 Special, and 25 rounds of Hornady American Gunner ammunition. Now, it's kind of funny. I guess he got a revolver because he probably would forget how to operate a semi-auto.
Right.
He needed something where he could just keep pulling the trigger and hope it worked, because he sure as hell wasn't going to be coherent enough to clear a jam. He filled out a form, ATF form 4473, which those of us who own firearms are so fond of those fucking things.
Oh, yeah.
Which federally required a background check paperwork. It asked if he was an unlawful user or addicted to any depressant, stimulant, narcotic drug, any controlled substance, and he lied and said no. Because we know that there's no substance this motherfucker hasn't tried to snort, shoot up, or smoke.
Right.
Okay? It doesn't matter if it's Drano or fucking acid. This dumb motherfucker's probably done it. I bet his DNA is so fucked up it looks like Swiss cheese. Just saying. I would hate to have a child by him because it would be riddled with all kinds of fucked up behavior.
Oh, yeah. The poor kid's going to look like an encephalitis drug baby.
So, anyways, he answered no. If he'd answered yes, he would have been denied the firearm. Well, see, therein lies the crux of the problem. Well, okay, if that had been me, you, or John Q. Public, we would have been somewhere in the federal penitentiary system being ass raped right now.
Right.
But because it's our favorite cokehead, you know, it takes us a year to figure out whether we need to prosecute him. Well, no, the motherfucker lied. If you lie on a federal form, that's a felony.
Yeah.
It's kind of written in plain, but I forgot. Merrick Garland, the DOJ, they got your back.
Oh, yeah.
Got to look out for Uncle Merrick. So here's all the people that are aligned to testify against this crooked motherfucker. FBI agent Erica Jensen. Okay. She's got copies of the text messages of this crooked fuck talking about the drugs he's doing. Okay. Let's go to witness number 2. Kathleen, I'm going to say Buell, not positive. Forgive me for mispronouncing her name. Apparently, she unfortunately was married to this fucktard from 93 to 2017. She's well aware of all his drug habits, affairs, whatever the fuck he was into, because it was everything. He was a dumpster fire of a human being. Number 3, Zoe Keston. Another partner of Captain Crackhead, hoping that she'll be the person who discusses his overuse of crack cocaine. Let's move on down the list at some of the other fine people they've got to bring up. Haley Biden, the sister-in-law that he decided, he needed to tap a couple of times because he wanted some of that.
Right.
Talk about zero morals. Now, granted, she ain't much better because she climbed in bed with a piece of shit. So there's dual culpability. She was aware of all this fucked up behavior too, but thought, hey, I want a piece of that.
Right.
Next person would be the unlucky gun salesman, Gordon Cleveland, who was an employee at StarQuest Shooters and Survival Supply, who probably wishes he'd never met this motherfucker because
right.
it's like having ass cancer and indigestion at the same time. So we go from there to number 6, the Delaware State Police Corporal Joshua Marley. He's going to testify about his response to an incident at Jansen's Market, where evidence was recovered. Now, this shit's going to get fun. Let's get into this. Apparently, the gun that Captain Crackhead bought, Hallie Biden said, oh shit, you have a gun and you're a fucking crackhead. So her response was, let's go throw this bitch in a trash can. Well, not only did she throw it in a trash can, she threw it in a trash can at a market across from a fucking high school. Props. Good
Nice.
job. So, Delaware State Police Lieutenant Millard Greer. These are the guys who found the gun. Okay, so I don't know about y'all, but throwing a gun in a fucking trash can in front of a public business, like a restaurant, it's a market, store, Burger King, whatever, and it being across from a school, I see charges.
Yeah.
I mean, I would be arresting the fuck out of people. There would be stacks. There would be like a fucking Yellow Pages phone book of charges.
And isn't that a gun-free zone? According,
Well, it has to be within so many feet of the school. So I don't know. Delaware's a fucked up state anyway, so I'm not really sure of their gun laws. Since it wasn't on the school property, they would probably give him a mulligan anyways, because they got to look out for Captain Crackhead and his fucked up family. But let's move down the list. There's more folks. We're not done. Drug Enforcement Administration Supervisory Special Agent Joshua Rummick. He's an expert witness on coded messages, apparently, that Captain Crackhead was sending. Okay. Which will prove that his drug use and support the government's allegation that Biden lied on the federal gun form. Next, forensic chemist Dr. Jason Brewer. He's got the brown leather pouch that allegedly belonged to Captain Crackhead with cocaine residue in it.
Nice.
That's everybody I've got here. Again, if you don't believe me, or the brown shirts are shitting themselves right now and spilling lattes and dropping their fucking Hot Pockets everywhere, that's off the Fox News website. So kiss my ass, go look it up for yourself. I just cited my source. But here's what I foresee. Yeah, he could get found guilty, but if he does, nothing is going to happen.
No, it'll be
if they have to camp his crooked ass out in the White House and protect him with Secret Service, they will.
Yeah.
He won't see a day of time. I hope I'm wrong.
No, you're not wrong.
Hell for him.
I mean, his being hired by, Ukrainian oil and energy companies.
Yep.
With his dad's insistence of, they'll fire the people that, government officials over there in Ukraine if he doesn't get a job.
Yep.
I mean, he's already caused so much shit, but no, nothing will happen to this guy.
No, he's bulletproof because the DOJ has been weaponized to protect him.
Yep.
If the DOJ was doing their fucking job, there have been U.S. Marshals at the White House hauling these fuckers out in chains.
I guarantee you, if it were you or me, it wouldn't have taken them a year. It would have taken them, 3 or 4 days.
15 minutes, and there'd be a drive through my house for MRAP.
Yep.
And probably 500 or 600 shell casings laying in my front yard.
Probably.
Let's just be honest. I mean, they wouldn't have dared to wait if it had been anybody but him. I mean, this is the same fucking DOJ that authorized deadly force to go to Mar-a-Lago.
Right.
Against the former fucking president and Secret Service agents assigned to him.
Well,
in his security detail.
One better. This is the same DOJ that, went to a pastor's house, early in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
With weapons drawn on a guy and basically him and his son who were protesting outside of an abortion clinic that hurt nobody, basically because they were there.
Mm-hmm.
That was great seeing not Tim Scott, but there was another congressman up there, grilling one of the FBI guys. Is like, really? You've got the son of a president who faces, federal gun charges, and you don't do anything to him, but you're going to go early in the morning to a family's house to a man who hurt nobody, and you're going to go, you're going to pull up in there, threaten the family with, getting shot if they don't hand over the pastor and his son.
Did that pastor and son get out of that? Do you know?
I think I couldn't tell you. If I told you, I'd be lying.
We're gonna look up. Let's see. It was a Florida pastor and son? No.
No, this was.
No, that's some people using the COVID money. Wrong people.
Yeah, father of 7. Let's see what happened to him. The $30,000 bond that got taken care of. The guy's name was Mark Houck.
Yep, I found him. He was a pro-life activist, right?
Right.
He was acquitted of the charges. Oh, shit.
Oh, good. It's probably because they embarrassed the FBI in the Senate hearings. But and this kind of goes back to, it goes directly back. Real quick before I forget about this, and what I was just thinking is what needs to happen after Trump gets back in office is he needs to go and revoke the top secret clearance of every FBI, CIA agent, senator, congressman, military officer that ever basically stepped out of line and was part of this cabal that's in charge now. Just
right.
revoke their top secret clearance, because you know what happens if he does that? Then they don't get to make money after they retire from books, working with General Dynamics and Texas Instruments and stuff like that. Yeah, they don't. Instead of politically killing them, he just needs to go in there and basically cut off their money supply.
Yeah, that works. I mean, what's good for the goose is good for the gander.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if this was a banana republic, it would be handled a different way.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know what that is, do some research and figure it out. It sure as hell won't be getting done by cutting off funding or taking clearance away. It'd be something totally different.
Oh, yeah. And that would be being nice to them.
Much more medieval.
Yeah, right.
So, but yeah, I mean, I truly think, in retrospect of all we talked about tonight, Trump, it's blatant that he was railroaded. I mean, did he do anything wrong? Maybe. But nothing on the scale they're trying to get to stick to him. And there was a statement that was made, I don't remember where I read it or heard it, but there was a statement that the judge made. And he told the jurors something along the lines of, well, and think about this. If you look outside one morning and everybody's got raincoats on and carrying umbrellas, but it's not raining, you can assume it has rained.
Right.
Now, think about what he's saying to the jurors. Does anybody not understand where I'm coming from here? Basically, what he's saying is, yeah, we don't have evidence, but all points lead to that there is evidence.
Yeah.
Okay. That's influencing a jury, which is completely fucking unethical and against the law. And B, again, it shows the base level of corruption through and through in the New York judicial system and the federal judicial system. For a federal judge to say some dumb shit like that and fucking get away with it. I mean, where was the fucking checks and balances on his ass? I mean, there should have been somebody there said, whoa, time the fuck out, Elroy. Your ass, you're recused, bud. Hit the golf course, go down to the liquor store and get you 6-pack of Schlitz, whatever it is you're after, because you ain't sitting here no more. Right. This is a fucking mistrial because you're dumbass. Where were they at? Just my 2 cents. I mean, right. One thing I can say about Trump, whether you like him or not, from everything I've seen, at least he handles himself with some class.
Yeah.
He doesn't get in fucking temper tantrums. He doesn't babble some nonsense about toasters and children's underwear chasing him as a kid. He tries to conduct himself with some class. Does he get pissed off and say some shit? Yeah, he's a fucking New Yorker. Show me one you met that doesn't tell you how they feel.
Yeah, exactly.
They're straight up fucking Yankees. Call it what you will. I mean, it is what it is. You know, at least he tells you how it is. You're not going to walk out of a meeting with Trump wondering what he's thinking.
Right. You're
going to know. Either you're going to say, damn, I'm glad I had that conversation. You're going to be going, damn, he ripped me a new ass. It's going to be one or the other.
Yeah.
Period. And you're not going to have any question, shut that door behind you, of how he feels about whatever the fuck you were talking about. That's what we need. Somebody that doesn't blow smoke, doesn't fucking lie to the American people, and does their fucking job. Period.
Right.
All these crooked-ass, bottom-feeding politicians could take a fucking page out of his playbook and learn from it, but they never will. Because they're all wrapped up in the same shit together.
Absolutely.
Oh, one other cabinet pick for him before I get out of here. I say you make MTG the Secretary of State.
Yeah.
Bruh.
Oh, man.
Secretary of State, bruh.
Yeah, again, you would walk out of whatever meeting you were in.
You wouldn't wonder.
Yeah, you wouldn't wonder.
No. MTG, Secretary of State, got my vote. All right. I know I babbled long enough. I hope everybody enjoyed themselves. You know, again, apologize for the hit and miss while I'm able to be here the past few weeks, but I've been really busy on my job. I will try and be here Thursday, God willing. Saxman, I think, is kind of in the same boat as I am.
Right.
But Saxman, drop some words of wisdom to keep up the fight, I guess.
Right. Well, if the past 4 years, if you haven't watched and listened and learned what's gone on, and you know how much this regime does not love you, and you know does not you know, you hate to put people in the category of not loving America, but from what I've seen, they don't. Man, get out, vote early, vote often. That's what I got.
Facts. All right. With that being said, I'm kind of with Saxman. I can't really add what he said because everything he said is right. We're in a bad place as a country. I think everybody here knows that. If we don't get out in force as patriots and do our thing, get out there and vote, observe these fucking polling places, make it uncomfortable for all this fuckery. I mean, be an opposing force. I'm not saying get out there and break laws or anything like that, but make it uncomfortable for these people to break the law and do all this crooked shit. Be a stick in their spokes. The only way you're going to do that is to put down the Cheetos put down the fucking 6-pack, get your ass up out of the Barker Lounger, do something legally.
Legally.
Okay? Let me stress that legally. Go volunteer. Go be a poll watcher. Go be a poll worker. Be somebody that works at one of the offices, calling, go door to door, whatever the fuck they need you to do to help get the message out there. Because if we don't do the due diligence we should, this republic's done. Damn. Just damn.
Or pole dancing.
Woo! Ranger will appreciate that. All right. That being said, thanks again to Vanguard for putting all this together and doing this remotely for us. We owe you, brother, and thank you so much for making it happen.
Thank you.
Looking forward to when you get back on here with us. You are missed. And more importantly, all of you took the time to listen to us rant and bitch. We hope you learned something. We hope you enjoyed yourself. We hurt your feelings. Well, take a number. That being said, hope to see everybody Thursday, God willing. Creek don't rise. And stay safe. Keep your loved ones close. And we'll see you on the flip side. Good night, everybody.
Night, y'all.